welcome to Game Make Corp, a bi-weekly podcast where we reach into the Imagosphere and pull out the next great video game idea. I am the CEO of Game Make Corp, Bryce.
And I'm the CEO of Game Make Corp, Beckers.
This is a live episode from 2D Con. Things happened to both the audio and the video, making it a rough conumble altogether. Audio is very rough because it was our first time trying to do it, and then also some reasons it didn't get started recording until halfway through the podcast. But
no, it wasn't my fault because I never take that kind of responsibility.
Yep, it was the ghost. So, if you would like to listen to this is an opportunity for you to hear about our very first live show and all the cool jokes we made and the people who laughed along the way. Otherwise, listen to the next one. We will be doing live shows for a bit now, so get excited for that. But Beckers, tell me some other stuff.
Did you know that giraffes have the same number of bones in their necks as humans do?
Like the amount that we have in our entire body or the amount that we have in our necks?
Our necks. So our necks are like this long and giraffe necks are like really long, and it's the same number of bones.
But they're bigger bones, right?
How would they not be bigger? So
maybe
that was our fun fact of the day that goes out to our investors, Aaron C. and Alex Weber. Thank you for making this happen and giving me money to go to school and get educated for fun facts, because that's what we used your investor money for.
Yep. So enjoy the show, and we'll see you when we see you.
Is from Twitter, is at the Alex Sermon. He said a pyramid scheme video game, so like an MMORPG or a battle royale or something, where the way that you get better gear is to refer people. So the more people you refer, the better your gear gets, the stronger you get. So basically, the more people they refer, a pyramid scheme.
Yes.
And this is how your game gets big. So I'm thinking you start off with your basic MMORPG, with like the classes and the people, and there's probably like good and evil or something. They're all the same. Every single one of them. But in order to upgrade your gear and to become better at PvP and, the game, you have to refer your friends. And for them to get better and to join you up on your high tier, they have to refer their friends.
Yeah, it'd be like you start off with a little like wood sword. You want that nice like steel sword? Invite one of your friends, we'll give you that steel sword. You cannot get the steel sword normally. The only way to get new equipment is referring people in. We'll get you. You want that platinum sword? Five friends in.
That'd probably be a terrible sword. It's very soft metal. He's obviously not a blacksmith. I'm thinking it can be ancient Egypt themed because it's a pyramid scheme game, right? You can just double down on this.
Because pyramid schemes all involve ancient Egypt.
Yes, I assume. Why would they not call it, like an arrow? I don't know. Look, ancient Egypt, that's the game.
Okay, go on.
You might be thinking, why would anyone play this when they know it's just a pyramid scheme?
To be clear, is the game called Pyramid Scheme, the video game?
It'd probably be called, it's probably like Egypt game.
Egypt game, please play.
Egypt game, please play and invite your friends for bonus rewards, right? Like you think it's just a regular referral thing, like a referral system when you join, but then you're too deep, right? And none of your friends really understand until we're already like 10 tiers deep. And obviously, as the first player of the game, no matter what I do, I am going to be the best player in the game. So this is my ultimate.
It's another one of those.
I've made games like this before.
It's the Game of Thrones MMO all over again.
So basically, since I'm the first player in the game, the first people in the game are going to be my referrals, and anyone they ever refer, they're going to just increase my ultimate power. I will be the pharaoh. No, I would be an Egyptian god.
Okay.
So that's my game idea.
So it's a game about you just being very powerful, and maybe other people will be somewhat as powerful, but never as powerful as you.
That's always the plan, is that no one can ever quite ever be as good as me, just like real life.
Okay, well, while you bask in that dream of yours, I have a game idea. Now, Nintendo, our greatest and smelliest competitor, is coming out with a game called Detective Pikachu, where it plays Pikachu and he's a detective, and it's a great time. Really recommend 5 stars. Go buy it. But in that game, Detective Pikachu can talk, a talking Pokemon. That goes against all of the things about the Pokemon. Never has a Pokemon talk before, and it's bad, but it's not allowed to happen.
Never?
Never.
Definitely not one of the main characters on the TV series, probably, but...
Correct. That's just the guy in a suit, and they just, like, all pretend Meowth is not a real Pokemon.
Right.
Let's be honest.
Okay, go on.
But as everyone knows, some people are capable of talking to Pokemon. So you play, in our version, in the Game Make Corp original concept, Detective Pikachu, you play as Detective Pikachu's translator. So Detective Pikachu would say something like,
Pikachu.
And you would have to translate as, they came in the night when everyone was sleeping, and as you can see by the marks on the door, they came in through the window. And their murder weapon was this stick and stuff. And then say other things
Like Pikachu.
Be like, it's the crime boss, Mustachio. I know where his lair is, and we will find him and rescue these people. And then he arrives at the crime boss's house, ready for battle.
Pikachu. Pika.
My name is Pikachu. You killed my father, and I am here for revenge. Also, you're just kind of following around Pikachu. I want to make it clear, you're just kind of standing behind Pikachu while he's saying this, like telling the Mustachio in this deep voice of, I have come to defeat you. After all of these years of searching, I will have my revenge. And in a final attack, he says,
Pikachu!
And then everybody gets electrocuted because that's what Pikachu does in his free time.
So how well are you translating what Pikachu's saying?
Real. I guess it depends. Like, you just get Becker's part, and then you have to figure out what he said, and like maybe you're just like, I don't know. I think he just wants some toast, and then you go get him some toast, and Pikachu's just like, no, the murder weapon! The murder weapon's right here!
It's right here! He's standing, bouncing on top of it, and you're just like, yeah.
Oh yeah, I could cut the toast with this knife. You're so right, Pikachu.
And you just say, yeah, he's talking about the power of friendship, and you're just like, no, he's right. He's murdering someone right there.
Mustachio, come on! I've been looking for this guy. Please, interpreter, we need. And like, Pikachu's just like asking for a new interpreter, but he can't communicate that because you're interpreting and you don't know what he's saying.
That's a real winner there. I like this game.
Thank you.
We're gonna need to get a voice actor for Pikachu. I think we just discovered that.
Okay. Got any ideas?
Not me.
we have limited the playing field.
Right.
Anyone who is not Becker's, please sign up to be the next voice of Pikachu.
Right. Yes.
Okay, well, while we start that search, do you have another game?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
So this one started as another submission from the same person, the Alex Thurman.
Aww.
So
It's her husband.
I asked him for game ideas and he gave me some. All right, so he submitted that a game where you hitchhike across the country and it's just a race to get your final destination, and there's, things you can do with that, right? But it turns out that there's a movie that's basically exactly that, right? Apparently like 2 movies. So
Rat Race.
Yeah, we can't do that because that exists already. So
and to be clear, Detective Pikachu doesn't exist. Original idea, no one can claim that. We only do original ideas at Game Make Corp.
Yep, that's 100% true. So I took that game and I thought, what about instead we do modern Oregon Trail, where instead of hitchhiking across the country, you take your covered wagon and you travel across the country in 2K18.
Are you trying to say 2018?
2K18.
Okay, that's You're hip with the kids, and you gotta say the 2K, or
someone has to be.
You won't be able to fit in with their cool kid gang and get the cool bandanas.
Righteous. Totally tubular, right? So You take your covered wagon and you're traveling across the country, but you're in modern times, right? So there's some things that are different from the original Oregon Trail game. So you're taking your covered wagon, but you have to take it on the interstate. And that's hugely dangerous. Like, I don't know if you ever go below the speed limit on the interstate, but it's really uncomfortable, right?
I mean, I think that some places have like a minimum that you're like, you need to be going at least 40.
For the sake of the game, you don't do that.
You've got to have a lot of oxes. Is that
a lot of oxen?
Yeah. Where did you get the, I think there's a large portion of this game is like, where did you even get the wagon and the oxen?
You're gonna have to suspend your disbelief a little bit here, Bryce. So you start with your covered wagon and your team of so many oxen.
So many.
To get the amount of oxen power.
Can you give me a precise number, please?
Probably like 340. You're taking up the entire right lane of the interstate to get to the minimum speed limit of 40. I actually don't think oxen can go that fast, but that's fine.
Don't worry, I've suspended my disbelief. They can do it. I believe
they've got it, as long as you have just enough oxen.
But you have to buy the DLC of the Power of Friendship, or else they won't be able to do it.
Okay, all right. So
and then you'll have to take the back roads, and you'll never make it.
What's the number one problem you encountered in the original Oregon Trail? Dysentery.
Many options.
Dysentery. Everyone kept getting dysentery, and you're like, what do I even do about that? Everyone's dead, and there was nothing I could have ever done at this. Dysentery. I wasn't very good at this game.
What is dysentery?
It's explosive diarrhea that you die from. So that's dysentery. So it turns out we have cured dysentery.
Are we sure? I had Taco Bell the other day, and it seemed like I had dysentery. Yes, I'm excited. Please.
How dare you? You were weak. You are weak.
I'm sorry. I should keep my dysentery to myself.
Yeah. So we've cured dysentery. You take some antibiotics. It's probably like 3 pills, and you're cured of your dysentery.
Is it any 3 pills, or do I have to take the precise ones? I've got some gummy vitamins. Do those count as pills?
For you, yes.
Good, because that's...
Bryce can take his gummy vitamins for anything that he gets. We're not worried about him, right? But for the rest of us, no.
Okay.
So we've cured dysentery. We're passing this hurdle at last. But how about instead you have to encounter modern diseases, right? So Ebola. Obviously rampant, just rampant everywhere, Ebola. Multi-drug resistant pathogens like Japanese super gonorrhea, just everywhere.
Everywhere?
Just everywhere.
Is it specifically in the wagon? Like, I've never seen this before, but do all covered wagons have this, and that's why?
Yes, you wouldn't have seen it because it's microscopic.
Oh, okay.
So, you don't see it. You just die of it.
You don't know about my hobby of looking at everything under microscopes all the time. You would not believe the things I see.
So you and all your oxen have super gonorrhea.
What? How did the oxen get it?
Bryce. We're using our higher functioning here to infer how that might have happened. It's a long trail.
Oh. In 2018.
In 2K18.
There's nothing else to do. You gotta get to Oregon. 2018, nothing you could do.
Nothing you could have done,
Okay, so you and your 300 oxen in your covered wagon with super gonorrhea.
Mm-hmm. And if you make it to the second state at this point, like you're already...
Where do you start?
I don't know. New England coast area, right? Or no, you started at like the furthest outpost out.
Which is? I mean, it's 2018.
It's right here.
Where do you find an outpost?
Oh, okay. Well, if we're in 2018,
yes,
you could take a frickin' train, Bryce. Suspend your disbelief.
So there's 300 oxen on a train with super gonorrhea.
No. You would never get a permit for that many oxen on a train. They'd be bigger than the train.
So that's you're moving the train with the super gonorrhea oxen.
Super gonorrhea oxen?
Does the super gonorrhea make them stronger? Because usually when things have super, they're better. Superman, super gonorrhea, that's only the two I know.
Yeah, it makes the gonorrhea better.
Oh, okay.
Not the oxen.
But they have
common misconception.
Super gonorrhea oxen, you just add it on the front.
Right, so then this game becomes actually a new version of Pandemic, where you spread your super gonorrhea across the country.
How?
With your oxen, your very sexy oxen.
How did the oxen get sexy?
You should have asked before we left.
Why did we get the sexy oxen?
We just thought it would be better.
We thought this would make the trip better somehow.
They were more expensive. We thought they would be a better investment.
That is true. You always go with the more expensive one because it means that's the best one.
Right, yes, that's how it works.
Okay. Sexy oxen, super gonorrhea. Is there a train or no train?
Well, at least a couple of them can take the train, right? We don't have to make them all walk.
They're sick. We're not going to make them walk.
Some of them have to actually make it to the end of the trail to spread the gonorrhea.
Oh my God.
I think we have a pretty solid game here.
Is this a game about like causing the end of the world?
It is now. I told you all my games end this way.
Okay. So.
Oh my God.
You start on the East Coast.
Somewhere.
With sexy oxen. At what point did they get the gonorrhea? Did they start with the gonorrhea?
They did.
Did they have the gonorrhea or did you have the gonorrhea?
They didn't start with it. Bryce had the gonorrhea.
Wait, I am the main character of this video game.
Okay, well, there's a few playable characters, but the super gonorrhea version
is this a
only
video
in the
game or is this just a dream you had?
Please. I don't dream about you. Oh, God. Well, okay, so you just start with regular sexy oxen.
Regular sexy oxen.
Just the regular kind of them.
Okay.
And then you start with whatever player character that you decide to start with.
What's your options?
Bryce is one option, and that comes with the super gonorrhea outcome.
You can't. If you just select me, you get the.
And then if you play with mine as the player character, the lead
so you're
character,
in the game too.
There's an option you can pick mine, but that's actually just a tutorial because you always make it to the end, no one dies, and everything goes perfectly. if you pick mine.
Are you like
so that's just like the tutorial.
Are you like the banker one where you just get a lot of money and
you just win, yeah.
And then you just buy tickets for all your oxen to take the train?
Right, yeah, because I'm actually super rich. Yeah.
That's weird that the company doesn't always have a lot of money, but you always seem to have a lot.
It's it's your typical corporation.
Yeah.
I have to keep my lights on, right? A lot of lights.
Almost like a mansion-sized amount of lights.
Right, yep. And to keep the lights on, I have to have staff to also install the light bulbs. So basically just a lot of money to keep my lights on. That's where that goes.
Okay. Is there any other playable characters? Or?
Probably like Thanos would be a good one.
Thanos? Why is Thanos trying with oxen trying
He just is. He just is.
Every game's got to have Thanos now. Fortnite did it.
Yes, we got to keep on the same playing field.
Yep. Everybody wants to be like them.
And his is actually super hard because he'll kill all the oxen.
He's constantly trying to kill half the oxen every day. He's like, we need to get rid of half of you. And I'd be like, why? Just like, it needs to be balanced. And they're like, what? This is a bad strategy to get through your life. You can't just keep reducing things by half. Like at one point, it's going to be half of something later.
Half of an oxen, which half?
Instead of getting rid of half the oxen, he just gets rid of half the oxen.
Are we talking about like left or like front? Which half are we ditching?
I mean, you could get rid of the front of some and the back of some, and then just put them together.
Why wouldn't we just get rid of half of the oxen then? Not half like of an oxen. Just if we're gonna stitch them back together anyway.
Because that's not how Thanos rolls. He's plays by his own rules, and he's all about the fronts. You take the best of the fronts, and you take the best of the backs, and you get the perfect team of oxen. Maybe the ones without the super gonorrhea.
That actually makes a lot of sense.
Thank you.
Okay.
That's why I promoted myself to Chief CEO of Game Make Corp.
We have the same position level now again, so that's cool. Chief.
Chief, CEO. I'm the chief of the chiefs of the chiefs.
Okay,
CEO.
well, I'm a god now. So.
Okay then. That's
right.
Well, that sounds like an excellent game for us to make.
I think that's pretty much it. We can maybe come up with a few more playable characters, but I think we've got a solid foundation for the next great video game.
What is the game called? Yep.
Well, it started as Modern Oregon Trail, but I think we maybe have to incorporate a few more elements of the game in the title.
To kind of give people an idea of what they're going to get, because I feel like when you say Oregon Trail, people are going to expect, maybe I'm taking a wagon across the Oregon Trail, but you seem to have presented a very different video game experience.
As long as we rate it M for mature, it's probably fine. You think?
I think they might need to make a new rating for this one.
Yeah.
Death by gonorrhea.
Super.
Not can't do anything with the super.
Regular gonorrhea is not that big of a deal.
Okay, what's the game name?
Apocalyptic Oregon Trail.
I'll take it. Apocalyptic Oregon Trail. Coming to which will be really good because they'll start it off and they'll just be in a wagon and they'll have a bunch of oxen and they'll be like, this seems fine, I don't get why it's bad. And about halfway through the game they'll be like, I get it. It makes sense now.
Yep.
Apocalyptic Oregon Trail coming to a video game location near you. Maybe we'll see. This has been our first ever live episode of Game Make Corp. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you laughed. I hope Beckers has a wonderful marriage. I'm just trying to really get your sympathies for Beckers. It's really
sympathy.
Yeah,
I have a great life.
Okay.
Don't be sad for me.
But this has been our podcast. Thank you for coming. We are available on the iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, and a video version on youtube.com/Lasky. We also have stickers and stickers and magnets over there if you're into that. And thank you for coming. They are free. Okay. Beggars, I have something to tell you.
What?
I forgot to hit record till halfway through.
That's typical. That's